Back at it here on this Wednesday, the 20th day of June 2018. Wake Up Wenatchee Valley is on the air from Studio 3 here in downtown Wenatchee. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host, the very last day of spring. I kid you not, the summer solstice is in the wee small hours tonight. 3:07 a.m., about 3 hours and 7 minutes into Thursday is when the summer solstice occurs, and then we are officially into summer, and from that point forward, the days get shorter. But we still have 16 hours of daylight for the next 10 days or so. It's hardly going to be noticeable, so welcome to the last show of spring. And it's been a pretty good spring, although the weather forecast is going to make it feel a lot like summer. But one of those strange weather phenomenons, we've talked about this off and on throughout the course of the last month or so, we have not hit 90 degrees yet in the Wenatchee Valley. We didn't yesterday either. Will we today? Forecast details are coming up. You notice the chair to my immediate left is vacant. Steve Hare is on assignment today. He'll be back, so he'll be back tomorrow, we're told. So I'll be handling the news duties. I'll be handling the sports duties. I'll be handling Today in History. I'll be handling the weather forecast. I'll be handling the obscure holiday. I'll be handling birthdays. Thank goodness Mike McNaughty will be handling his own little problems, and he's got a lot of them. And my guest in the second half of this program is Catherine Grove. The second annual Wenatchee Pride event occurs this weekend at the Pybus Public Market. Catherine is very familiar to the viewers of this show. She'll be on to the second half of the program. Looking forward to that conversation. All right, enough nonsense. Let's take care on North Central Washington with our Valley View cameras. All of these courtesy of Localtel's Sky-Fi high-speed wireless network, which means if you live out in the middle of nowhere and you can see one of our 60 or so towers scattered all over North Central Washington, you can get high-speed internet to your house without having fiber. Isn't that cool? That, of course, is the Cross camera. It's located just to the east of the iconic cross at the very tip of Wenatchee Heights. As we say good morning to Wenatchee and East Wenatchee, it's already mild, 64 degrees already in the Wenatchee Valley, and it's going to be warm, and I'm afraid we could see some thunderstorms later on this afternoon and into tonight. We're hoping that doesn't happen. That's the last thing the cherry growers need. Of course, if the cherries get wet and then it warms up, the cherries split, and they don't do you any good anymore. Hopefully, we can dodge that bullet. All right, so we always begin with the Cross camera. Now, from this point forward, the other three cameras is up to Uriah, our producer, who celebrated a milestone birthday yesterday. Uriah, what do we got? What's up next? We're going to slowly dissolve and take a look-see. Wow, that's got to be Badger. It's got to be Badger Mountain with apparently the Lord of the Flies. They're filming a new episode of Lord of the Flies up there, Badger Mountain. I'm assuming that's Badger Mountain. That's what it looks like to me. Our camera way up there. That's an incredible view of the Wenatchee Valley, the wheat fields, the waving wheat, which, by the way, can sure smell sweet when the wind comes right behind the rain, with apologies to Rogers and Hammerstein. That's a camera we haven't used in a long time. What an incredible view that is from the very top of Badger Mountain. If you turn to the right, you can almost see Waterville, I'm assuming. Great shot there. Good job, Uriah. I like that view. Camera 3, we go to, now I got to guess. Okay, that's Wapato Point, so I'm assuming that's Wapato Point. I want to say that's Lake Chelan. I want to say that's maybe Bear Mountain, maybe Greens Knob. What am I looking at, Uriah? Help me out, buddy. I don't know what I'm looking at here. What am I looking at, Uriah? Okay, well, I don't know. I can't hear him. So we'll just fake it. That is, let's say, Bridgeport. There you go. I just throw that out there. Camera number 4. We should have just thrown on a rerun and had breakfast. That is the Arundel Rock camera pointed up Columbia River for the last couple of days. Actually, last week or so, we've had it pointed down towards Turtle Rock. Now we got Arundel Rock pointed up the mighty Columbia. Most of that you see at the Columbia, of course, is just right behind Rocky Reach Dam. So to your left, you would see US 97A on your way up to Lake Chelan. By the way, they had an accident yesterday afternoon on US 97A involving bighorn sheep. We'll talk about that when we get to the news, and the mighty Columbia looks awfully still, but that, my friends, is deceiving. As I mentioned before, if you go down to the river, certainly between the dams, we talk about between the dams, between Rocky Reach Dam to the north and Rock Island Dam to the south. If you're between the dams in the Wenatchee Valley proper, you will notice that the Columbia River is running fast and high and cold and lots of debris floating around. It is still pretty darn dangerous, even though We're pretty close to summer. It's tomorrow. So good job, Uriah, on the cameras today on this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Let's do the forecast for the last day of spring from the National Weather Service, and it looks something like this. As I said before, we cannot rule out a shower or maybe even a thunderstorm. They think it's going to develop over the Cascades. The question is it going to slide over the top of us or not? So we do have a chance of thunderstorms after 5 o'clock. If we get any thunderstorms at all, it'll be late in the afternoon into the early evening hours. You see the forecast high of 89 degrees. That was our forecast high yesterday, but we didn't get there. We topped off Tuesday at 86 degrees. So about a 30% chance of a thunderstorm. Now that chance goes up to 40% tonight. Yeah, so we could see some heavy rain, could even see some small hail. It's possible. The chance of a thunderstorm tonight is 40% as opposed to 30% today. So that chance does increase tonight. 40% chance of thunderstorms. Very mild with the cloudy conditions. It's going to cloud up, by the way, tonight. 67 for the overnight low. It's going to hold the heat in. Thursday, it is going to be cloudy for the most part in the morning, and then gradually, as Thursday progresses, we will see the sunshine. We'll top off at 87. The system exits the area Thursday night. The big story Thursday night is going to be the wind, going to be breezy. Clear skies, but windy. Wind out of the northwest about 10 to 20 miles an hour. And then we get pretty nice Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We cool down to more normal temperatures and very pleasant indeed as high pressure will finally make its presence felt. A little concerned if we have a chance of thunderstorms and lightning tonight into Thursday followed by wind, that's going to make the firefighters quite nervous indeed, as you might imagine. Hopefully we will dodge that bullet. Again, a 30% chance of thunderstorms late this afternoon, and that increases to 40% chance of thunderstorms tonight. There is your forecast from the National Weather Service. 7 minutes after the hour, we're live here from Studio 15 in downtown Wenatchee. Going to take a 1-minute break. So grab a cup of coffee or an orange juice or a bagel or whatever it is and come back and join me in 60 seconds. And I will have the news. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live on the NCW Life channel.
RLS Productions presents Concerts in the Gardens held at Omi Gardens this coming summer, featuring the Infinity Project, a Journey tribute band, Too Slim and the Tail Draggers, the Wenatchee Swingin' Big Band, the Peter Rivera Band, and Invisible Touch, a Phil Collins tribute band. The objectives of the series are to increase midweek tourism to the Wenatchee Valley, the development of a world-class series overlooking the Wenatchee Valley, along with awarding annual scholarships to Wenatchee Valley College students. RLS Productions would like to thank their supporters and volunteers for helping make this all possible.
What's your auto mocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes.
My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
And now it's time for your local news update with Steve Hare.
8 minutes after the hour, Steve Hare is on assignment today. He'll be back tomorrow. I am Dan Kuntz handling the news here on this Wednesday morning. Yesterday, of course, we brought you the news that Alcoa will permanently shut down one of its pot lines at the Malaga plant site and pay a $62 million payment, if you will, to the Chelan County PUD. But as NCW Life's Grant Olson reports, the PUD did everything it could to keep Alcoa operating.
Alcoa issued a news release Monday afternoon reporting the company's decision not to restart production and instead make a $62.4 million payment to Chelan County PUD as a deferred payment on the company's power contract. The power sales contract included an $86 million deferred upfront charge that was specifically designed to encourage Alcoa to operate the plant. Alcoa earned a payment discount each year the smelter operated from 2011 to 2015. Last year, PUD commissioners agreed to defer the bulk of Alcoa's remaining charge until June 2018 as Alcoa considered whether to restart the facility. The invoice for $62 million represents the remainder of the deferred upfront charge. Chelan PUD spokeswoman Suzanne Hartman says Alcoa is viewed as a valued community partner with a shared history of providing economic benefits to the Wenatchee Valley.
The goal for Chelan PUD in working with Alcoa has always been to have the plant up and operating. I mean, those are 400 50 jobs that are important to this community, and we certainly had a contract in place that would incentivize Alcoa to be up and running and operating at Wenatchee Works. The contract with Alcoa is still in effect until 2028, whether they're operating or not.
An Alcoa spokesman says the closed portions of the Wenatchee site will be evaluated for potential redevelopment, but that will not affect the status of the 3 remaining pot lines. Grant Olson, NCW Life News.
Thank you very much, Grant. Douglas County is moving forward with the construction of a new law and justice facility to house the Douglas County Sheriff's Office, District Court, Juvenile Court, Juvenile Probation, IT infrastructure, and a future coroner's office. NCW Life Steve Hare has more on this developing story.
The over 17,000 square foot facility will be located north of the Evidence Storage Building. It's directly adjacent to the Public Services Building on 19th Street in East Wenatchee. Construction is estimated to be completed by late spring of 2019, establishing a campus environment for county services officials believe will be convenient for citizens while establishing a more coordinated effort between departments. Douglas County's information services infrastructure will also be housed in that new law and justice facility. Now, extensive repairs are necessary in the current facility on 2nd Street, such as replacement of the roof, HVAC system, and carpeting, as well as employee safety upgrades. The anticipated cost for repairs and upgrades and remodel exceed $1 million. Meanwhile, Commissioner Dan Sutton says the county will be able to finance the project through existing revenue streams.
We were able to
Well, we apologize for the technical difficulties there, but essentially, yeah, they're going to build an $18 million law and justice facility, as Steve was just reporting, on 19th Street, down where the brand new evidence room was just constructed and some of the other offices that have been located there for quite some time. Hopefully, we'll get that story for you in more in-depth later on today. What an update on the fatal hit-and-run crash in Manson early Sunday morning. Chelan County Sheriff Brian Burnett reported that on June 17th, around 2:49 in the morning, an injured man was reported laying on the roadway in the 500 block of Manson Boulevard. The suspect has been identified as 21-year-old Giovanni Reyes of Manson. Reyes had initially returned to the scene prior to law enforcement arrival to check on the victim, identified as 29-year-old Andrew Murphy of Seattle. Reyes told deputies on scene he had been driving through the area when he found Murphy on the roadway, so he stopped to help. Reyes' vehicle did not have visible damage on the front end. It did, however, sustain damage underneath the vehicle during the collision. Parts were located on the roadway from the undercarriage of the suspect vehicle. Reyes did not tell responders that he was the driver who struck Murphy and was allowed to leave the scene after speaking with deputies. Reyes was then located the next day, was interviewed, and then placed under arrest. He was later booked into the Chelan County Regional Justice System for hit and run resulting in death. Although an arrest has been made, detectives are still investigating the incident. More crashes to talk about on this Wednesday morning. Traffic came to a halt in the Quincy area yesterday after a trailer towing pickup crashed into a law enforcement vehicle in a construction zone. It happened on State Route 28 about 6 miles east of Quincy when the pickup driver, identified as 39-year-old Alfonso Gudo of Bothell, rear-ended an unmarked Washington State Patrol vehicle. The trooper, who escaped unhurt, had stopped for flagger-controlled traffic in the construction zone when Gudo struck him from behind. Gudo was transported to Columbia Basin Hospital. The crash remains under investigation. And still more traffic accidents to talk about. 5 people injured yesterday in a two-car pileup on Highway 97A. State troopers say it happened around 2:15 in the afternoon, about 5 miles south of Aniat, when a southbound vehicle driven by 47-year-old Vilame Lutiki of Chelan rear-ended a car driven by 26-year-old Jordan Howell of Kirkland. He had slowed down for a bighorn sheep in the roadway. Both drivers and 3 passengers transported to Confluence Health in Wenatchee for treatment. Troopers say Lautiki was following too close. Well, during the past week, several vehicle break-ins have occurred at trailheads accessed from Highway 20, the North Cascades Highway. Break-ins have occurred at the Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest trailhead, also accessing Blue Lake Trail, and the National Park Service East Bank Trail that accesses Ross Lake. Okanagan-Wenatchee National Forest Service Public Information Officer Robin DeMario has some tips for forest and park visitors. You're encouraged to encouraged to follow these trailhead safety tips. Remember, never leave your valuables in your vehicle. If possible, leave them at home. If you have to leave your valuables in your car, hide them out of sight. Scan the trailhead to make sure nobody is suspicious hanging about, and if they are, consider moving to another trailhead. And do not leave a hiking itinerary on your dashboard. Leave it with friends or family members. And finally, on this Wednesday morning, in order to make sure communities are prepared and engaged in case of wildfire, Public Lands Commissioner Hillary Franz will host 3 town hall meetings the final week of June. The events are scheduled for Tuesday, June 26th in Yakima, Wednesday, June 27th in Chelan, and Thursday, June 28th in Yakima. Fire season already underway, and the public is invited to attend and speak with Commissioner Franz, be briefed on wildland fire preparations, learn how they can prepare for wildfire season, and learn about forest health issues and opportunities that will reduce wildfire risk in the future. The Chelan Town Hall will be held at the Chelan Senior Center from 6 o'clock to 7:30. These 3 events follow previous town halls held earlier in Cle Elum, Wenatchee, and Winthrop. And that's the news at 16 minutes after the hour on this Wednesday, the 20th day of June, 2018. I am Dan Kuntz. 64 degrees, high clouds. High today of about 89 degrees. Again, as the day progresses, we have an increasing chance of thunderstorms. The thunderheads could start popping up about 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock this afternoon. That chance increases in the overnight hours tonight to about a 40% chance of thunderstorms. It could be associated with heavy rain and even some small hail. Don't forget, you can be a part of our news team. If there's something out there that you think needs our attention, go ahead and get a hold of us at the bottom of your screen. Well, for a brief time there at the bottom of your screen, you can see how to get a hold of us. Any number of ways to do it. If you go to our website, ncwlife.com, you'll see the tab that says Contact Us. You can fill out the Contact Us form, or you can submit a news tip if you so desire. Again, that's via our website, ncwlife.com. If you want to send us a message, go to our Facebook page and send us a message. If you want to email us, that's a great way to do it too. Our email address is news@ncwlife.com, news@ncwlife.com, or give us a call on the hotline. You see it right there, 888-NCWL, 888-NCWL. All right, 17 minutes after the hour, going to take a break. Sports! Tough night for the Apple Sox, tough night for the Seattle Mariners. Sports is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life channel.
It's a free walk-in job search assistance center. It is designed to help job seekers with the tools that they need to find a job. We have partnered with libraries in 5 other cities, providing the same types of services that we offer here, just there.
Just walk in, we have laptops, and we can help you with resume, cover letter.
All of our services are paid for by the revenues earned in our store. Goodwill is just a tool that the community is using to help their neighbors find a job. Goodwill, there's more behind the store.
I'm Grant Olson, and you're watching the NCW Life channel.
I'm Eric Grandstrom with NCW Life Sports.
I'm NCW Life News Director Steve Hare.
Catch us on Local Tel Channel 12.
You can watch us on Charter Channel 19 or stream us live on ncwlife.com.
Follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook.
Where we cover the local high schools, the Wenatchee Wild, and the pro teams out of Seattle.
On Saturday, we have a 90% chance of rain.
Catch it all right here on the NCW Life channel.
And we're back 19 minutes after the hour. Still to come on this edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. We have the obscure holiday today in history, birthdays. Everybody's entitled to maybe not his opinion. And our conversation in the second half of the program with Catherine Grove from Wenatchee Pride. Jam-packed show for you on this Wednesday. Sports. Jake Taylor had a home run, but the Wenatchee Apple Sox lost 7-3 to the Walla Walla Sweets last night at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. In a game that the Apple Sox never led, they cannot overcome 2 errors and 3 wild pitches. It's one of the big problems that the Apple Sox have had this year is defense and pitching. The Sweets struck for their first 2 runs in the second with 2 base hits and 3 wild pitches. They would take a 2-0 lead that they would not relinquish. Taylor drew the Sox within 1. His first home run of the season, the team's second. He had a long ball in the 3rd inning, but after that, the Sweets scored 3 runs on 2 hits and another error in the 6th. The Sox did respond with a couple in the bottom of the inning. That made the score 5-3, but the Sweets made it a non-save situation with 2 on at the top of the 7th inning to cap the scoring. The Apple Sox have now lost 3 in a row. They are 1-4 in their current 6-game homestand. They will look to even up the series tonight. Wenatchee and Walla Walla will do battle again at Paul Thomas Senior Stadium. First pitch, 7:05. For the Seattle Mariners, it was their first road test against the top team in baseball, the New York Yankees, and the Mariners were no match for the power of the Yankees, not to mention the Yankee pitching. Domingo Germán tossed 2 hit ball over a career-high 7 innings, and Juan Carlos Stanton hit 2 home runs Tuesday night. The Yankees knocked off the Mariners 7-2. Miguel Andujar and Aaron Hicks each belted 2-run home runs off Marco Gonzalez in the 5th. Hicks homered for the 3rd straight day. He finishes with 3 hits. As the leadoff hitter for the Yankees, he moves to the Yankees, by the way, are now a season best 26 games. Over 500. Coming off a 4-hit game, Stanton set a solo drive to straightaway center field, his first. Aaron Judge had an RBI base hit in the 7th, and rookie phenom Gleyber Torres added his 14th home run in the 8th. The first 2 batters reached against Germán on a double and an error. Then the rookie right-hander retired the next 19 in a row before Nelson Cruz hit a home run in the 7th inning. Very quick game, only 2 minutes and 28 seconds. The Mariners dropped to 46-27. They lost for only the 8th time in their last 30 games. It's a big 10-game road trip on the East Coast. It is a measuring stick for the Mariners, and, well, they started out on the short end of the stick. They got a couple more games at Yankee Stadium, followed by 3 in Boston, and then they wrap up with 4 games in Baltimore. New York, by the way, has won 8 of their last 10 versus the Mariners. So King Felix, who pitches very well at Yankee Stadium, gets the nod tonight. For the Seattle Mariners, he'll go against Jonathan Logacia of the New York Yankees. And that is sports. At 21 minutes after the hour, it's time for the obscure holiday of the day today. No irony intended, but it seems interesting that today, June 20th, annually, is World Refugee Day, the international observance of the plight of refugees all over the world. This is a stunning statistic. I found this yesterday. Every minute of every day, 25 people leave their home and everything they own to escape war, terror, persecution, whatever the case may be. So citizens and governments of the world need to think about refugees, the issues that they face. Maybe we can work together and solve this refugee problem once and for all. The Roman Catholic Church has celebrated World Refugee Day for over 100 years. So honor people. I know it takes a lot of bravery and strength to do what it needs to do, to say I can't live under these circumstances anymore, and I'm just going to drop and go and hopefully find greener pastures elsewhere. It is World Refugee Day, always celebrated on June 20th. And now, today in history. 231 years ago, they're all gathered together there in Philadelphia, the Federal Constitution Convention, and they said, okay, well, we got a new country. What do you want to call it? We need a name. Oliver Ellsworth made the motion at the Federal Convention on this date, June 20th, 1787, to say, let's call our new country the United States. There were other options. They kicked around a number of different name options for the brand new country. United States, of course, was one. America, Columbia, the United Colonies was considered a possible new name for this new country. And ironically enough, Benjamin Franklin wanted to call it Jerry. I don't know. The United States became the United States, the name, on this date 231 years ago. Happy birthday to West Virginia. West Virginia joined the Union on this date 155 years ago, June 20th, 1863. That is the flag of West Virginia. West Virginia is known as the Mountain State. Of course, West Virginia was a part of Virginia until the Civil War, and that particular geographic location of West Virginia was against slavery, and so they had a divorce. And Virginia lost about 1/3 of its real estate, and West Virginia was born. West Virginia, fun facts about West Virginia, I always have a couple of these. West Virginia has the oldest population of any state. The median age of West Virginia is 40. Wow. And the Greenbrier Hotel was built in 1778. They hold an annual golf tournament there every year. It's one of the most historic hotels. That's Lizzie Borden. Well, guess what's coming next? The Greenbrier Hotel was the location of the secret bunker. The secret bunker at the Greenbrier Hotel in West Virginia. That's where Congress could operate and meet in the event of a nuclear war. In 1992, the Washington Post exposed the facility, and since then, they just use it as a meeting room. And there is a bunker somewhere where the Congress can go to work in case there's a nuclear war. Only now, we're not told where it is. Happy birthday, West Virginia, 155 years ago. So yeah, as you know, we got something about Lizzie Borden now. June 20th, 1893, 125 years ago, Lizzie Borden acquitted. Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her mother, you know the poem. Lizzie Borden acquitted of the murders of her father and her stepmother. They simply said there wasn't enough probable cause. She went back and lived at the house where the homicides took place, and that was that. 125 years ago. Today is the birthday of the hotline, the red telephone. 55 years ago today, after the Cuban Missile Crisis came in with the Soviet Union, and the United States signed an agreement to establish the hotline, the so-called red telephone, a direct link between the Kremlin and the White House. They never actually used a red telephone. They just called it that. That's a prop. I just found that online. By the way, the primary link, and it was a direct link, was cut several times near Copenhagen, one time by a Danish bulldozer operator, and another time by a farmer in Finland who plowed up the hotline and cut it by accident. It was a direct link, and no, they never used a phone. Now they use email. It started on this day 55 years ago today. June 20th, 1975. Dun-dun, 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 dun-dun. Jaws opened to theaters in the United States of America, became at the time the highest grossing motion picture of all time, started the trend known as the summer blockbusters before Jaws was released by Universal Pictures on this date 43 years ago. They would release movies little at a time. They would release it into the big cities and then to the slightly smaller communities and eventually out to the smaller towns. So a movie would be released over a period of over a year. Jaws opened up to hundreds and hundreds of theaters all over the nation at the same time. Don't go near the water. Jaws opened on this date in 1975. And who's kidding you? It's a great movie, isn't it? Maybe too intense for some younger viewers. I remember that. Finally, we got birthdays today. Is it Lizzie Borden's birthday? Happy birthday to Brian. You gotta laugh. You gotta laugh at this job. Brian Wilson, the leader of the Beach Boys, one of my favorite musicians. The first real rock and roll artist who was credited for writing, arranging, producing, performing all of his own material. He took over leadership at the Beach Boys when he was just 19. Of course, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, class of 1988. When he was inducted by Paul McCartney in the Songwriters Hall of Fame in 2000, Paul McCartney said this. He said, Brian Wilson, quote, one of the great American songwriting geniuses, end quote. And he is true. One of the legends of music, Brian Wilson. 76 years old today. Celebrating his 66th birthday, John Goodman, of course, best known as Dan Connor. On Roseanne, he was in Raising Arizona, Barton Fink, The Big Lebowski. He was great in that movie. Brother, Where Art Thou? You remember that? He was in Always, played Babe Ruth in The Babe, The Flintstones, 10 Cloverfield Lane, Coyote Ugly, The Artist, Extremely Loud and Incredibly Close, Argo, Flight, The Hangover Part 3, Patriots Day, hosted Saturday Night Live a bunch of times. Happy 66th birthday to John Goodman. 20 minutes after the hour. Everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. That's coming up here in just a little bit. And then Catherine Grove from Wenatchee Pride will be joining us. Make plans for this Saturday, June 23rd at the Papa's Papa Market. You'll be glad you did. That topic when we come back. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 15 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Life Channel.
The Arbiter of Stoke is a series that highlights a variety of outdoor adventure sports that are available in the Pacific Northwest. I dedicate my time to enjoying this natural playground. The decision is yours. How will you keep your Stoke?
I have a doctor who knows what they're talking about.
It's just so much more hands-on and friendly than anywhere else I've ever been.
It's really great to walk into somewhere where you feel welcomed and you feel accepted.
We've just been grateful for the care and respect that we've been given there.
And here when I come to visit my doctor, I'm not afraid to ask questions.
It's not just about getting you in and out.
I love my care at CVCH. It's awesome. Give it a try.
Walk and Roll Wenatchee's Asian Express is fast, fresh food. Wenatchee Roll's new Poke Hawaiian Fresh Salad Bar is the best. Fresh greens, fresh seafood, and handmade sauces. You know what you want. At Walk and Roll, create your own style meal. Hot off the line chicken, beef, and veggie plates. Lunch or dinner to match your appetites. Fresh sushi, hot entrees, Poke Fresh Salad Bar. It's new. It's Walk and Roll Wenatchee, fast, fresh food your way. Located on 5th and Mission.
Hi everyone, Brent. Hey, don't mind, we're just making a commercial here, Randall. You're okay. Hi everyone, Brent here. Jeez. You're gonna love this. When you see this, come down and see us behind Nissan. I can do it. I can do it. The all-new 2018 Nissan. That's done, I'm done. We can't do it. Come down and see us at Town Nissan behind Costco in East Wenatchee. Better performance, better proof.
If you want to work in healthcare, choose the program that teaches the skills employers want. The Charter College Medical Assistant Program combines hands-on learning in the lab with convenient online learning, plus real-life experience with an externship. Classes start every 5 weeks, so you don't have to wait to launch your new career. Enroll with confidence, knowing Charter is institutionally accredited by the Accrediting Bureau of Health Education Schools, and be ready to work in less than a year. Charter College. We work to get you to work.
Hey there, Wenatchee. I'm Sean Lee, and I'm inviting you to come down and check out what we're all about at Badger Mountain Brewing.
Great beer, good food, and an endless source of entertainment for the whole family. Our Honey Blonde beer is flying off the shelves at your local grocery store. But I tell you what, it's even better on tap. And while you're here, try our signature Badger sauce with one of our delicious meals. Whether you're in the mood for a wrap, salad, pizza, or nachos, Badger Mountain Brewing has what you're looking for.
This is Mike, Mad Dog Magnati, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, a place where I used to work, well, I drew a salary anyway, but I had a sign in my office that said it's easier to ask for forgiveness than to beg for permission. Now, my boss didn't like it, and he said that he couldn't believe that a supervisor in this organization would have that kind of attitude. I told him that maybe he needed to think about it. For a boss or supervisor in decision-making positions, it's always easier to say no to subordinates than to consider the issues that cause the subordinate to bring the situation and the potential changes to your attention in the first place. It's often kind of risky and challenging to consider the possibilities of new ideas and opportunities. Hey, but it's easier just to say no. But it's a boss's job to help people succeed, not play it safe by stifling your subordinates' creativity and enthusiasm. Now, this is Mike Mad Dog Magnati, and that's my opinion.
Vamanos junk haulers are pleased to announce they've added moving services to their list of ways to make your life easier. Vamanos Moving Service. No move is too big or small. In fact, Vamanos does it all. Vamanos employees are experienced at moving your home, office, business, and storage. They'll carefully load and unload your belongings. And for the do-it-yourselfers, Vamanos also rents trucks and cargo trailers. Call Vamanos Junk Haulers and Moving Service today to schedule your free estimate.
Boating is a great way to bring family and friends together. At Bobfile Boats and Motors, they have the boats for any lifestyle: fishing, wakeboarding, or just relaxing on the water. Buying a new boat is more affordable than you might think at Bobfile Boats and Motors. Online at bobfile.com or on Sunset Highway in East Wenatchee.
Bobfile Boats and Motors, we're dealing. Bobfile's gonna make you smile.
We're here to celebrate every season with award-winning dining, full-service spa, and 170 waterfront guest rooms. Come experience our tradition of hospitality at Campbell's Resort on Lake Chelan.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
And we are back on this edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Love trumps all. Don't believe me? Don't believe it? You should go to the Pybus Puppet Market this Saturday for Wenatchee Pride from 11 to 4 at the Wenatchee Pybus Public Market in Wenatchee.
That's
Catherine
a tongue
Grove is here.
twister.
How you doing? I thank you for showing up because this show is not going well.
No, it's going awesomely. I love it. It's
Sometimes
great.
the world is a black dinner tuxedo and you're a pair of brown shoes. And that's what's going on here on Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Catherine Grove from Wenatchee Pride, thanks for joining me. It's good to see you.
Thank you so much for having me.
We got a lot to talk about. Just right off the top, just give me a thumbnail sketch about what people can expect this Saturday at the Pybus. What's it all about?
Yeah, so this is our second annual Wenatchee Pride event and our first really big one for the community. And it's for the entire community. We've made it family friendly. There's gonna be a ton of stuff for kiddos to do as far as, you know, it has to have a bouncy house, right?
Oh yeah, you gotta have that.
And then different activities, a lot of organizations in the community as resources for people that want more information or maybe to find support, and then live music and a beer garden. So there's something.
You gotta
for
like
everyone.
that.
Yeah.
So the genesis of this whole thing, you said this is the second one, although this is the first one at the Pybus. How did this whole thing came to be? Did a bunch of folks get together and say, hey, we're people too? How did this whole thing develop?
So last year, Jillian Daly from Planned Parenthood, she decided with a group of people, let's do something. Wenatchee hasn't had a Pride event, and so in a very short amount of time, they put something together and had it at the Unitarian Church in East Wenatchee. And awesome for the Unitarian Church to host us last year, and this year they are the umbrella that is helping us put it on. We don't have nonprofit status yet. And so big thanks to them again for their support. And so this year, probably about 6 months ago, we said, let's make it bigger. And so a couple, you know, we have a planning board of 6 people. And you know, we said Pybus, center of town, we want to be somewhere where all the community already knows. And as you know, on a Saturday at Pybus, it's going to be busy. So we want the community, some people that maybe haven't heard about it, to wander in and see what's up.
There are a lot of Pride celebrations all over the world just about this time of the year. They seem to be centered right around the solstice, aren't they?
Yes.
Is that one of the reasons you chose around this time?
We just wanted, you know what, we chose the same weekend as Seattle Pride, which next year we're going to do it differently because a lot of people that live in our community like to go to the Seattle Pride. And so we chose the same weekend as Seattle Pride. And you know, without really knowing much about that. So next year we're going to do it a little bit differently, so that people from Seattle said they want to come over for it, but obviously they're not going to miss Seattle Pride.
Yeah, it's understandable.
Yeah.
So maybe next year.
Maybe. Yeah. Well, next year our hope is, you know, we'll have it on a different weekend here, and then, you know, maybe we'll work with Wenatchee Valley Shuttle and shuttle people over to Seattle Pride as part, you know, Wenatchee Pride going to Seattle.
Well, the Seattle Pride has a parade, and everybody loves a parade.
I know.
That might be the next thing.
Well, you know, that's definitely on our dream list. You know, parade. Apple Blossom is our, you know, the event of the year, right, in our community. And it would be awesome if this does become, it will never be, well, I shouldn't say never, but I don't think it'll be a 10-day event ever. I hope not. But we'd love to have it be a weekend that, you know, has a parade and all that kind of fun stuff. But I think for sure next year we'll have a run and that kind of stuff.
So you got 6 people on your quote-unquote board, for lack of a better term. Is it organized? Do you have bylaws and a constitution, or is it just a...
We'll take time to make it real formal after the event. Right now, we have regular meetings, weekly meetings. We take notes, and we're all obviously volunteers that are just passionate about really, because people have said, it's funny. People are scared or hesitant to ask questions, right? So this is really the first really big public event in Wenatchee, and they, LGBTQ, and they're almost afraid to say it wrong or offend. And I think the important thing is we just want people to know, don't worry about offending. Like, at the end of the day, this is just about acceptance of your neighbor, and it goes outside of, we've had parents come to us that say, my child is not LGBTQ, but they're an outsider. They're outcast at school, and they're bringing their kids because of the environment of love, the environment of acceptance. And so last year I went to the first Pride event, and I met some of my best friends that I have now. And don't know that I would have met them had there not been an event to do so.
How are we doing in North Central Washington as far as addressing the community? Are we okay? Are we still 20 years behind the time? I mean,
it's been shocking. It's been shocking how positive and how open arms the community has been. And so that's been great. We have not faced opposition. We have many sponsors. AmeriGroup came in as our title sponsor this year. We actually had some people kind of fighting for some of the sponsorship levels, which was fun.
That's a good problem to have,
a fun thing. Yeah, so great corporate sponsors. But more so, the community stepped up. So early on, before we ever even went out for corporate sponsorships, we did a GoFundMe, as everyone does. And we had a lofty goal. We wanted to raise $15,000, but we have someone that is Rochelle on our planning board. She's very good with money, and she said, okay, if we raise 15, this is what we can do. If we raise 10, this is what we can do. And if we raise 5, this is what we can do. And we are just over $10,000 raised, which is awesome.
That's a lot of
Year
money.
one. I mean, we're ecstatic, and we have people that say, next year, put me down. I'm interested. And so. But the community stepped up. One of our first donations from someone was $500. She said, love what you're doing. We're like, well, we love what you're doing. Just people, community members stepping up and giving to it because they see a need in the community.
Well, that's good news. I mean, I was afraid you were going to say, it's going to be an uphill slog, and by the time I'm 70, maybe people will start accepting us for who we are.
No.
We're moving into the passing lane, perhaps.
Yeah, absolutely.
To use that analogy.
Absolutely.
Personally, do you feel accepted? I mean,
I do. So, and I think it's something. I'm in the LGBT community, Q community, and I use quotes because I guess it's not about. I'm very much not about definitions and boxes. If someone is in our community. You're not talking about your sexuality at work, right? If you go on a date, it's about the person, and so I feel accepted, and it's been cool. We've done something, and I would encourage people to go on our Facebook. So it's Wenatchee Pride Facebook, and we've done something called community profiles. And people have written a profile on themselves, and it's their coming out. It's coming out stories, it's their journey, and it's been so cool. I mean, we've had people say, I moved here from Seattle, and I didn't know if I could stay. But this community and seeing this is heartwarming, and it's more than gay pride, it's Wenatchee Pride. And that is why we chose that name. We didn't want Pride Wenatchee. It's being proud of the valley we live in, and then proud that we're able to live here feeling loved.
Well, giving back to the community means that you're here to stay, and you care, and you want to make the Wenatchee Valley in North Central Washington a better place to live.
Absolutely.
And that's terribly important.
We've had people from Seattle even say, like, considering moving here and seeing what's going on with Wenatchee Pride.
Okay.
Like, can you imagine starting something six-ish months ago and having that kind of grassroots thing bubbling up and growing? I mean, Saturday's going to be fun. Even if you have curiosity of what it's all about, we'd love for people to show up.
Well, the fact that people are moving from major metropolitan cities, and who's kidding who, in the LGBTQ plus community, the vast majority live in major metropolitan cities, be it Seattle
Absolutely.
or New York City or Los Angeles or San Francisco.
Yeah.
To come to little old Wenatchee town is good. It makes us a better community, doesn't it?
Well, and Wenatchee, I mean, we all know is the best. So,
it is the best.
Yeah, if you can live here and feel accepted for who you are and, be a professional, raise a family, what have you, without any stigmas, yeah, we're a better place for it.
And we're getting there. We're getting there. We are. I think so.
We are. I am. I've been here for 10 years. I moved from Michigan 10 years ago, and Wenatchee is awesome. Like, it just continues to blow my mind. We're actually quite progressive, and it's cool because the people that live here are proud. And if you live here and you're not proud, you just need to wake up on the other side of the bed.
How did sponsors, did you get some blowback from sponsors when you explained to people this is what Wenatchee Pride is all about and this is the event that's going to happen on June 23rd? Did you have sponsors or businesses who say, I don't want to be a part of it because of what it is?
No, the businesses that maybe didn't want to be a part of it, maybe they didn't respond. To an email solicitation or something like that. But mostly we just made contacts. CVCH, which is where I work, we're a sponsor. It's really important to us for the community to know we accept and care for everyone, care for all people. And then Molina Healthcare, a lot of healthcare. We also had coordinated care come in. Confluence came in as well. So we've had people come to us and say, hey, we would like to be a part of this next year. There wasn't anyone that we contacted that said, I'm not sure I want to be a part of this. So, I mean, maybe they thought it, but they didn't tell us.
There's a reason that you're holding this at the Pybus. First of all, everybody goes to the Pybus, and on Saturday, in the spring, summer, and fall, Pybus is, well, the winter too. Who's kidding? It was always hopping and popping. Saturday morning, you're going to be set up, and you're going to be having your thing starting at 11. You're going to have, at the same time, there'll be the Wenatchee Farmers Markets going on. You have people popping down for their morning coffee and doing a little shopping and maybe hitting the loop trail and everything.
Yeah.
And you're going to have people who have absolutely no idea what this event is, and they're going to walk up to you and say, what's going on?
Absolutely.
And you say, what?
Well, we're going to say this is a Wenatchee Pride Festival. It's a family, family-friendly event. Come on in. And I mean, they're going to hear the live music. We have some cool local bands, some bands from Spokane coming over, a little bit of something for everyone as far as musical taste, and we have it listed on our website so you can scope it out. Everything from cool beachy groove to a little hotter later in the day. But people are just going to, I think they're just going to walk in. So, I mean, the gates are going to be open. We're going to be in their new event center.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm stoked about. If people haven't been, come check that out. Just with the glass garage doors opening, and we're really excited about that. And it's just, so I don't think, we even have people, there were so many people interested in being a part of our event that we didn't have enough room. So we actually have people spilling into the concourse. Yeti Chocolates, have you had their chocolate?
No.
Oh my
Sounds
goodness.
Good.
Okay, so she is a fantastic chocolate maker, and she's a local gal. I don't know her name, but she made a special Wenatchee Pride chocolate. So these chocolates are absolutely insane. So she's going to be selling them in the concourse, kicking back proceeds. I know the cheese shop in Pybus is also kicking back proceeds to Pride. We have filed for nonprofit status, so next year, hopefully this time, we will be a nonprofit ourselves. But basically, anything earned from this Pride event will go to sustaining Wenatchee Pride events monthly throughout the year, and then the festival again.
This is maybe a difficult question to answer. Are you expecting any kind of trouble? if you know what I mean.
You know, no, I do.
Confrontations,
Yeah.
people who do not approve for whatever reason of your lifestyle.
It's possible.
It's gonna happen.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
possible. I know.
How do you plan on if it happens? And I'm assuming.
Yeah.
And I don't want to. I don't want to get the horse.
No,
the
I love.
buggy in front of the horse.
No,
but
any elephant in the room, let's call it out. So
Yeah.
I think Wenatchee Police Department has been awesome. So they're going to be. They'll just be around that day, and so if there are any issues, they're going to help us resolve them. If there are people that, generally, I think people that maybe would cause problems or have an issue are they're just ill-informed, and they're taking the human out of the event and just voicing whatever their opinion is, and they're allowed to voice their opinion. I don't think we'll have. We're expecting possibly up to 1,000 people or more.
Wow.
And so I think
Just to participate in the
we'll
Wenatchee Pride
outnumber
event?
anyone that might have something opposed to our event. We're not worried about it. We've had billboards up in town. We've had a large social media presence. And people haven't even hopped on the Facebook, and we haven't had one comment that we've had to delete because it was hurtful. So,
by the way, I love your fingernails. I just noticed that.
Thank you. Yeah.
Those are sweet.
Yeah, I got that. So I have rainbow fingernails, and I haven't had my nails done in 2 years. And I went into my nail lady, and she said, "Oh no," because it took a really long time.
I haven't had my nails done in 3 years. Catherine Grove is my guest for the Wenatchee Pride event. We got more to talk about with Catherine when we come back. We're going to take a quick break. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
I'm Jenny Rojanasatian, and this is Guada TV. Every week we will be bringing you a first look at North Central Washington business, tech, and education news. You'll hear from local influencers and innovators who live right here in the Valley. Together, we'll discuss hot topics, current events, and resources that can support your business, our schools, and this community. Join me every week, and let's get inspired.
I definitely recommend them for new floors.
They made it so easy.
It looks like a whole new house.
Great service, great prices.
Want a recommendation before you buy new carpets or floors? Don't take our word for it, just listen to our customers.
And they guarantee their work for life.
Flooring America, where friends send friends. Select pet-friendly, kid-friendly, oops-friendly carpet and floors are on sale now.
Papa Murphy's presents a fresh take on fresh. Here's the deal. If it comes from a freezer, not fresh. Box, not fresh. Bag, not fresh. Fresh means just chopped vegetables. Cheese grated by us daily. Fresh means we don't even have ovens, because you have an oven. So you can feel good about feeding it to your... Home bake a large Gourmet Delight Greek pepperoni pizza, topped with pepperoni, spinach, black olives, and feta cheese. Just $9. Papa Murphy's. Love at 425 degrees.
Yamaha ATVs and side-by-side vehicles are proven off-road. Designed, engineered, and tested in the real world, they provide the best balance of off-road capability, comfort, and confidence, delivering performance that is truly proven off-road.
And we're back in this Wednesday edition of Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. Dan Kuntz alongside Catherine Grove. We're talking about the big Wenatchee Pride event, the second one, which begins at 11 o'clock this Saturday at the Pybus Public Market. What do you want people to take away from this? That love trumps all, or what?
Yeah.
What do you want? What do you want? Either first-time attendees who are already part of the community, or people who just wander in off the street. with the steak that they bought at Mike's Meats, and they're going, what's going on here? What do you want them to take away from it?
Really, that is, I mean, love trumps all, and of acceptance, I think. And to help answer questions for people. I think it's really important for people to know, if you've heard of LGBTQ+, and you don't know much about it, but you don't have anything against it, you support it, you just don't know anything, just come. Talk with other people, and it's about community for sure. We want, more than anything, it doesn't matter. We could take the music away, we could take the beer garden away, the bouncy house face painting.
Oh, don't do that.
I know, we could take it all away and just have an empty room that we said, come and hang out, and people would come and just meet great people. But it's definitely more than that, in that people can come and get resources. Spectrum is a group here, a community resource group, and they're going to be there. All of our sponsors will be there, and then other people in the community. So because we've had cool interest in volunteering. Early on, we did some volunteer meet and greets, and we had people showing up, and it was funny. Half of them showed up just because they wanted to meet other people like themselves.
Okay.
They didn't actually want to volunteer. But that's fine.
Yes,
so what we realized is
sure.
we need more events where people can connect with other people. And then we did have a great response of people that did want to volunteer. So we are starting to set up Friday before the event in the early afternoon, and we're still taking volunteers for people that want to set up or tear down, or maybe help during the event. But we've had a great just response from the community.
I think as society continues to change and evolve for the good, that people are going to look back 10 years from now with absolute incredulity that this was ever a thing to begin with. I do.
The cool thing is we've had people, in the community that have lived here for 50, 60 years. And have been part of this, the community, the LGBTQ community, but and they even fought for equal marriage. I had the honor of meeting a gentleman from Leavenworth. He lived in Seattle, and he said he laid across the highway fighting for equal marriage when it was, people were picketing and trying to get this to happen. We have people that said, I've lived here for over 50 years and I've dreamed of something like this happening. But when you think about it, you think, Wenatchee would never, they would never accept it. It wouldn't go over. Well, it's going over great. And the reason is the community's pulled together to make it happen. Because, and I think, I mentioned that we did the GoFundMe. I mean, just crazy that the community, both funding, volunteers, PIBUS has been wonderful to us. As far as a venue.
They're the best people to work with.
Yeah,
they really
Steve
are.
Robinson and his crew are amazing. Yeah. So, and we are excited that we get to be in the new space. So, I think the takeaway is truly that, yes, this will be a pivotal moment that everyone will remember, and we think that next year will be even better. But thank you so much to people who laid the groundwork for equal marriage, and who've lived their lives and maybe felt they had to be in secret and now can actually walk in with their wife and hold her hand. So, I mean, that's the kind of geeky stuff that I'm excited about.
Not geeky. Love trumps all.
Absolutely.
Simple as that. We got about 2 minutes left. Let's get into the meat and potatoes. It's 11 to 4. At the PIBUS Puppet Market. I know you got some sponsors to thank. Talk about who's playing, beer garden, all the meat and potatoes. It's put a ribbon on this baby.
So again, thank you to Mayor Group for being our title sponsor. Confluence, CVCH, Coordinated Care, Molina have all been fantastic. Planned Parenthood came in. Audience Design, her name is Elena. She's a local designer, phenomenal. She designed our poster, and she did it. So each year we're going to have an event poster, and an artist, a local artist, will design the back piece. And she did it by, I will totally butcher this, and she'll say, that's not how I did it at all. But as I understand it, she painted pieces of paper and put it all together and then photographed. It's a work of art. And so we'll do that. There'll be an element of that each year. So big thanks to her. And And as far as the music goes, you know, we'll start it off nice and chill with all the different bands. Cowboy Dan will be there, Cobra Hawk, Michael Carlos Band.
Who's one of my faves.
Yeah, and then Marina Obscura. So basically it's going to have that kind of beachy vibe early on, and then we'll heat it up a little bit. It's going to be something for everyone. And the cool thing is Columbia Valley Brewing is doing our beer garden, and then they're also going to do food. And I met with them last night. They're going to do a hot dog, chips, and a drink for $3. And I'm like,
that's a deal.
Yeah. But he said, John at Columbia Valley Brewing, he said, I just want to bless the community. He's like, I'm not going to make any money on this. So
10 seconds left. Your Facebook page is?
Our Facebook page is /Wenatchee Pride, and you can get more information at wenatcheepride.org.
Pybus Public Market from 11 to 4. Then there's an after party after that at Radar Station, which might even be a more important thing to go to. Catherine, it's good to see you.
It's great to see you.
Have fun. Have fun on Saturday, all right?
Yeah, we'll see you there.
Take care, everybody. We'll see everybody here tomorrow. Until then, bye-bye.